Anti-Hadith is one of the heretical teachings that have spread in Muslim communities, including in Malaysia, for the past few years. This belief in Malaysia is now expanding when there are certain parties that support them. This anti-Hadith has a hope that they do not believe in Hadith as a source of Islamic epistemology after the Quran. They understand that Quran is a complete and perfect book that has rejected other sources as sources of Islamic law. To strengthen their argument, some verses of the Quran interpretation were distorted. Most of their deviations involve matters of faith, which is Akidah. Additionally, they place the position of the Prophet Muhammad SAW as just follower of Prophet Ibrahim AS. It is clear here that the anti-Hadith group tries to interpret the verses of the Quran according to their own taste based on a weak translation. They do not have expertise in the language of the Quran and do not understand the style of verses and speech. So, understanding the Quran based on the existing translation results in their understanding straying from the true meaning. The first issue is regarding the group G25. It is a case study of an anti-Hadith movement in Malaysia. Former senior government officials, diplomats, and a well-known business people make up the alliance of Malaysian Muslims known as G25. The organization was founded in 2014 with the intention of encouraging a more tolerant and open understanding of Islam in Malaysia. G25 members have criticized the selective and occasionally literalist use of hadith, which they contend can result in religious fanaticism and a narrow view of Islam. G25 has asked for a re-evaluation of the function and authority of hadith in Malaysian Islamic law, arguing that they should be analyzed critically and understood in their historical and cultural context. It is important to note that G25's opinions on the hadith have caused controversy in Malaysia and drawn both admirers and detractors. So the group's initiative have spurred conversations regarding the functions of hadith and how they are interpreted in Malaysian culture, as well as more general concerns about how Islam and modernity interact there. The recommended solutions is to give education and awareness. There are some key aspects of promoting education and awareness. So the first one is the academic institutions need to encourage universities, Islamic studies programs, and religious schools to offer Turuf Hadith studies courses. So some topics covered in these courses, for instance, the technique of Hadith criticism, the historical setting, the evolution of Hadith literature, and the range of scholarly interpretations. And the second method is to coordinate with academics and professionals with expertise in Hadith studies to provide public lectures, seminars, and workshops. So these occasions can disseminate information and offer chances for people to learn about the Hadith literature from reliable sources. So for the last method, it is to encourage interfaith communication and interaction with people of different faiths or Akidah. This can promote intercultural understanding and present possibilities for the exchange of knowledge and viewpoints on the Hadith literature in order to promote a greater level of religious literacy.
Quranis can be defined as not belong to any of the sect. One is said to be Quranis who solely follows the Quran as it has been translated according to their own interpretations. There is the situation where in social media a clip of a woman making the assertion that she is Malay and Muslim with Quranist understanding went viral. She was disparaging Islam as the federal religion and Muzakarah of the National Fatwa Council, which stated that the faith of Muslim in this nation should be founded on Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And the solution is the Department of Islamic Religions Malaysia, DAKIM, and the State of Department of Islamic Religion must keep an eye on intellectual currents that depart from the doctrine of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jamaah, so that this organisation cannot publicly promote their belief in society. And also, we must constantly advance information, particularly religious knowledge, by obtaining it from esteemed scholars in order to get knowledge that actually complies with Islamic principles. Anti-Hadith movement, Kasim Ahmad. Kasim Ahmad, he did not regard the scholars as intelligent and cannot be relied on by the community. He argued that many scholars deceive and withheld the facts from the people. They dominated the Islamic world to the point where Muslims regard their faith as a backward religion, discriminatory not only in human socialization connection but also in religious text interpretations. Kasim Ahmad unwillingness to accept the ideas of authoritative prophet system from his skepticism about the trustworthiness of intellectuals. And the first solution is authority and community actions. Non-governmental organizations, NGO and community action, particularly those with an Islamic basis, have played an incredible role in stopping the spread of information and talk about this teaching.
Okay, for the last issue, which is debate over the authenticity of hadith in Malaysia. The anti-hadith movement becomes more assertive when authenticity of hadith in Malaysia has led to divide opinion among scholars, religious authority and the general public. Within the field of hadith study, scholars employ rigorous methodologies and criteria to assess the authenticity of hadith and classify them into various categories, including Sahih, which is authentic, Hasan, which is good, Da'if, which is weak, and Maudu, fabricate. The issue of categorizing hadith, particularly identifying fabricate hadith, is significant because it determines the reliability and trustworthiness of the transmit saying and action attribute to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For the solution, and expert in Malaysia as well as other parts of the Muslim world need to engage in extensive research and analysis to determine the authenticity of individual hadith and compile collection that prioritize rigorously authentic narration.
For the summary of our topic, the anti-hadith movement in Malaysia Muslim community, which dismiss hadith as a source of Islamic law, is growing due to certain supportive factions. This group distorts Quranic verses to suit the belief, mainly focusing on faith matters, claiming the Prophet Muhammad SAW was merely a follower of Prophet Ibrahim alaihissalam. Usually, this organization led by the pioneer of the known as the pioneer of the movement, and the G25 group composed of former senior government officials, diplomats and prominent business people. The G25 group, also not explicitly anti-hadith, critiques the selective and literal use of hadith.